Hi Thumos, welcome back guys. Hope you have an amazing start to your week. Listen, dopamine detox, dopamine fasting, you probably heard it all before. A lot of people, dopamine this, dopamine that, suck on this dopamine popsicle, this dopamine tit, It's like take a break from the dopamine, baby. Get off the hamster wheel. And here's what I think it feels like to get off that dopamine driven life, this constant seeking. Well, first off, you're going to become more ambitious. That's really all it is. You become more ambitious. That's what dopamine's responsible for. It's your ambition, the desire for more. There's a book called The Molecule of More that describes dopamine is that chemical inside of you that makes you want more, makes you want to go out and seek things, to accumulate. And so when you're not accumulating a bunch of stuff and you don't have all these feel-good chemicals, well, you have more of this seeking, this awareness, this ambition for life. It's amazing. Now here's what I think happens immediately is you become more aware. You have increased awareness for the day because you're not escaping into some video game or to some movie or to some form of thing. You're not escaping into music. Your focus is not being stolen by some outwardly thing. Your focus is now perceiving your environment. Now here's a few things that happen. Well, you become more curious. You get more ambition. You start to notice little things that you don't notice on every day, on the daily. Think about this. You ever seen those little blister-like red bumps that are on any intersection? Like just look out of your window or go on a walk. You'll start to notice them. You probably never thought about them before. They're called truncate domes. They're these pavers. They're for blind people. The blind people, when they hold the white cane, they're going down the street, they're like this, right? They feel those, they hear the noise, and it signals to them that when they step on it, you're now about to leave the sidewalk and cross the street. You never noticed that before. You just see it. You never register. This lack of awareness, you never question it. How many things are like that in the real world? It blew my mind when I realized that fire hydrants are actually like 7 feet tall. You see a fire hydrant, you never think about it. What the hell's going on underneath that thing? 7 feet, man, 6-7 feet. They got to go down into the earth and connect to pipes. It blows your mind. A fire hydrant is not just this little, 2-3 feet thing. It's 7 feet long, if not longer. If you're a firefighter, correct me on this. But they're huge. And it's weird when you see them. And a lot of the world is like that because of our constant escaping, our constantly neglecting to learn about the world through awareness, through curiosity, by letting our habits of, this pleasure seeking, this dopamine driven life of seeking more and more pleasure, it sort of stifles our curiosity. And this awareness, man, I'm telling you guys, it'll change your life. I recommend, a lot of people say dopamine fast. What do they don't really tell you what to do. Here's what you do. Instead of games, go outside, get some sun, have more real life, have the opposite of what a game is, which is escapism. I'm not saying games are bad, but if you got a video game addiction, it needs to stop. The best way to do this, lock the PS4 or the PC, or Steam, uninstall Steam, put it in the closet or sell it. If it's taken too much of your energy to not do this thing, you got to get rid of it. If I kept Oreos and all these sweets in my cupboard, it would take too much willpower for me to not eat those things. So I have to be strategic. I have to be shrewd. I have to be smart about how I'm going to use my willpower because it's finite, right? You only have a limited amount. And so you don't want to constantly be at war with trying to battle and have discipline. Instead of movies, or back to the video games, instead of video games, have conversation. Be social. It'll give you such a rewarding feeling once you talk to, these other people within that realm, this real world, man. It'll light you up. You'll learn incredible things. I went to a wedding, Indian wedding this week, and I know some of you Indians are like, man, why you got one of those men are supposed to get hennas? Yeah, well, I don't give a damn. And this is amazing, right? A little flare. The henna artist was like, I was like, you know what? Can you just give me a little flare? Man, feels nice, it feels real good. Anyways, had a great time, talked to some amazing people. And there's this old guy named Bob. He was a history teacher. This guy knows so much stuff. And I was just present. I was aware. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't having ADHD. I wasn't thinking. I was focused on him, looking him in the eye. He's telling me about his life. He's telling me about the stock market. He's telling me about places he's been, places he's traveled, amazing experiences. And it just like hearing that conversation just, inspired me. He had that Thumos. I talked to this one guy, 91 years old, man. 91 years old, still has the Thumos. Still has the fire in the belly. Learning to play guitar. I mean, these are guys, that have lived. They've lived. And one of the things that Bob told me, a lot of people at my age, they get senile, they get bitter. And it's all about your attitude. You have to have a good attitude. You got to have a positive attitude, whatever it takes. Talked to this older Indian man, and he's 76. He still plays tennis every single day. He used to be a heart surgeon. He plays tennis every single day. He says he gets up, he has a morning cup of coffee. He says, oh man, I love coffee. I love coffee. Every morning I start my morning off with coffee. I stretch, I work out, I go get some sun, play tennis with my friends. I mean, this guy is more charismatic, more expressive in his body language, his smile, than 20-year-olds I've met. Like, this guy is filled with Thumos, filled with life. And so, instead of the games, have the conversations. Instead of the movies, have a good story through a book, or learn something new through the wisdom of an author that's passed long ago, through this dead tree, man, through this book in your hands that just you can absorb better than any video or any podcast, right? It goes deeper to the source. There's depth there. Instead of music, fill your time with creating a peaceful mind, a peaceful state of living, to open yourself up to the world around you and the people around you that you may be missing because you're blocking off this very crucial sense. When you go to the gym, how powerful is the mind compared to just music? The mental attitude, the mental fortitude that you can come up with your own mindset, is stronger than any external source of motivation. And the young generation, the generation of men right now, it's like we're becoming unaware of this stuff. But we have to be, man. We have to wake up, and we have to stop running from all of this life. We're missing out on life, and this is the only life we have. And so, a good way to be strategic about this is to use the if-then strategy. If you feel like playing video games, if you feel that urge, you have this awareness. So I feel like playing video games. I feel like binging Netflix show. I feel like, just going on Spotify, listening to all this music. Have a then. How are you going to react? If I feel like doing this, then I'm going to do this instead. If I feel like playing a video game, I'm going to go on a walk instead. I'm going to go get some sun. I'm going to talk to some men. I'm gonna maybe invite friends over. I'm gonna be the catalyst to getting people together and to have an amazing conversation. If I feel like watching a movie, well, then I'm gonna actually read a book, because I went to the library and I got a bunch of books, and now I'm gonna read that book, right? If I feel like eating junk food, well, then I'm gonna cook for myself. If I feel like going to get fast food because it's easy and it's convenient, it's expedient, well, then I'm gonna actually I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna cook something for myself, and I'm going to nourish my body, because, man, this is life. And the more life that you can experience, the more it's going to shape you. Whatever you reach into reaches back into you and starts to change you. And so if you're reaching in to all of these forms of escaping, you're chasing phantoms, they reach back into you and they start to twist you and they start to mold you, and you become different. You start to lose your sense of identity, your sense of being a man, and your place, your worth, your weight in this world. And a lot of us, we're becoming weightless, we're becoming floaty. Too much, not really knowing ourselves. Too much ups and downs. Too much being deceived and getting swept up in waves of emotion and anger and uncertainty, and having our focus pulled apart. And then at the end of the day, man, you start to change slowly but surely how you live. and your mind becomes more peaceful and more present. You become more conscious and aware of what really drives you, of what is meaningful, what is going to fill your soul, what is really going to bring you happiness. What is it that you're after in this life? And so, you start to build that habit, and you teach yourself, you coach yourself in a sense, how to think, how to be aware, how to be calm, how to be at peace. All right? So that's it, man. I hope you guys have an amazing start to your Monday. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you got any cool facts, the whole fire hydrant thing or those little blister bumps on the side of the road, those are cool facts. I mean, the world's a big place. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to be curious about, which will in turn just drive you to want to be a part of that, and to maybe even create, with this boredom, with this awareness for life, you become more creative. It just naturally bubbles out from you, because when you're not consuming other people's creation, you feel like creating your own stuff. It's amazing. So that's it, guys. Hope you have an amazing day. Let's get it this weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.